Hello, in this video we're gonna be sculpting the head of our character. So we're gonna be sculpting the nose, the mouth, the ears, the whole head, like the skull, and maybe the eyes, just to have an idea of how it's gonna be looking at the end. So this video is gonna be only about the head and maybe the neck, and in the next video is gonna be the torso. So for this video, I'm gonna be using my graphic tablet again, and I really recommend you to use one too, because it's gonna be making things much easier. I think you can do it with your mouse, but if you have a graphic tablet, you can just use it because it's just gonna be make things easier. My graphic tablet doesn't have a screen, so if yours does, it's gonna be a bit better, I think, but it doesn't need a screen. Without screen, it's enough. So let's get started. So let's start. This is the same file of the last video. Here we have our character, just like with a blocking version, and we're gonna start sculpting it. So in this window, I'm gonna be pressing Ctrl Tab and selecting Sculpt Mode. And now we can start sculpting our character. As you can see, this kind of looks like a pencil. So as you can see, we have many options here. We're not going to be using all of them, but we're going to be using many of them. And as you can see, I have this little option enabled, so make sure to do it too. And let's start by the head. I'm going to press T, select all the face, press comma on the numpad, tab once again, and we need to have some more polygons in this model. So I'm gonna be applying this modifier to our mesh. As you can see, we're gonna have some more polygons here. And I'm gonna be applying this by pressing Ctrl A on the modifier. I'm just gonna do a little thing. I'm gonna go into the edit mode, select all the head. I'm gonna press P and selection. This is gonna separate the head from the body because my PC is gonna be lagging a lot. So I just think I better work only with the head separated from the body. And that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be working only on the head. So let's jump into the sculpt mode and start doing it. Of course, I have to activate the model sheet so we can see what we're doing. I'm gonna hide some objects here, such as this and this, and we're gonna start sculpting. So I'm gonna start by the eyes. I'm gonna be making a hole based on the drawing. And to create a basic hole for the eyes, I'm gonna be selecting this option here, crease, and we're gonna be doing this. We're just gonna be making a hole around the areas for the eyes. So I'm just gonna be making this. I think this size is okay, probably. And we're gonna be activating the transparency to see if it matches with the model sheet. It kind of does, but not exactly. So I'm gonna be pressing F to get a bigger pencil, and I'm gonna be pressing G and be dragging these parts down just like this. We're gonna be moving them down until it gets a shape similar to the model sheet. I think this is pretty similar to what we got in our model sheet. For now, I'm gonna be keeping this like this, and I'm gonna be trying to do the nose. And for that, I'm gonna be pressing R and increasing this value just a bit. I think this is enough. And then I'm gonna be pressing Ctrl R. And yep, we got much more polygons, maybe even too much. But this is gonna be making things easier to sculpt for now. So now I'm gonna be trying to model the nose. I'm gonna be pressing J and bringing this little part here and make sure it aligns with the model sheet, just like this. Let's make sure this part aligns, this part here. And if you have ever sculpted with clay in your life, it's gonna be pretty similar to that. We're just gonna make sure it has the same format of the model sheet, but we design with much more detail than the blocking. The blocking is just to have a bit of idea of how it's gonna be looking. But now we're really gonna be starting to work on it. So I'm gonna be dragging this little part here to the sides to make the nose like this. I'm using G for this little tool here, by the way. It's G. Make sure you align like this. And for that, we have to grab this little part and bring it a bit down, like this little part here. I'm gonna be just doing this. And now to have some little details, I'm gonna be using this option here, crease, once again, but I'm gonna be decreasing the strength, maybe to half of it, and I'm gonna be making just something similar to this, where it's gonna be around the nose. And here's gonna start making the cheeks and then the eyelids. I think it looks good for now. Let me make the holes of the nose. At least try, because I don't know if there's enough polygon for that. I think there is. Gonna press G, move this a bit to this, move this a bit closer like this. Adjust this. And now we're gonna see if this nose is according to the model sheet. It kinda is, but but it's too small, so we have to adjust it. And bringing all of the nose down until it matches with the model sheet, at least just a bit, like this. And I have to adjust this little detail here. And this little part here. I'm gonna be using this other option once again, crease. And bringing it a bit down. Now from the side view, we have to make sure it aligns with the model sheet once again. So I'm gonna be dragging this little part a bit up. Like this. And for now, this is probably enough for the nose. I'm just gonna detail this hole a bit more. And I think this is enough for the nose for now. And I'm gonna be using this little option here, smooth, to make things more smooth. And so we don't have these weird transitions right here. Can you see it? I'm gonna be doing this, adjusting it. This details here too. Under the eyes, around the cheeks. And I want to make a little detail in the nose around here. So I'm gonna be using this other option here again, crease. And I'm just gonna be making something kind of like this around the nose. So it's gonna be looking a bit more tasty. And once again, this is based on my style and on the style that I got. If your style is completely different, you have to do it according to your style, to your model sheet. But I'm pretty sure you can follow me and use the same tools and see how to use them and get the general idea and try things out yourself. So for now, I think this is enough for the nose. I'm gonna start working on the eyes once again to improve it just a bit. And according to the model sheet, we have to adjust this little part here, bringing it down. I can barely see it, but we can see what we're doing here. And it has to have. So for now, I think this is looking good. We're gonna be adding a sphere inside here just to see if it looks good. So Control Tab, Object Mode, Shift A, Mesh, Sphere. I'm gonna be bringing it up, scale it down, bring it up, scale it down, and I'm gonna be seeing if I can find a way that it looks good inside the eyes, because we're gonna be using a sphere as the eyes in the future, so we have to make it based on a sphere too. And now I'm gonna be hiding the head and the rest of the body. And do you remember when we made a ball-sized reference in the model sheet? We're gonna be using it now as a reference for the size of the ball. So this image is really shitty, but I can see the ball is around here. So I'm gonna be scaling it according to the model sheet like this. And this must be enough. I'm gonna unhide the other models. And if this is right, I have to adjust the head. Bring it a bit to the side, a bit back. And I think this is kind of it. So this ball is a reference for the eye. I'm gonna be selecting the head and going into the sculpt mode once again. And then we're gonna start sculpting the eyelids around the ball. Gonna be pulling it a bit around here until it kind of covers the ball. It's looking really strange, but I assure you it's gonna be looking good by the end of this video. Object mode, move the ball around a bit more inside the head. I think this is starting to look good, but we have to adjust a lot of stuff yet. So this must be enough for now. I'm gonna be going to the front view, selecting crease, decreasing the size of the pencil, and I'm gonna be seeing where I have to make the little detail for the eyelids. In this case, it's around here. So I'm gonna be doing the same thing here, and I'm gonna be marking with a crease pencil. Like this. This is gonna be the eyelids, and then we're gonna have a little detail here that's gonna be leading to the eyebrows in the future. I'm gonna have to use this little tool here, inflate, to create a bit more of mess around here. Like this. Again, crease. Do the same thing. I'm gonna be using the smooth just to make things a bit more smoother and it doesn't look completely weird. And now it is starting to take form. Now I'm gonna go into the object mode, adjust the eyeball once again. Sculpt mode, change, adjust the eyelids once again according to the eyeball. And basically, the eyelids have to cover part of the eyeball because that's what eyelids do. So for that, I'm gonna be creating a bit more of hole around here like this once again. I think it's starting to look good. I'm gonna make it a bit more smooth. Gonna decrease the strength and make it a bit more smooth. I'm gonna be doing a little detail for the eyebrow. We're just gonna be using this flatten tool and using it in the eyebrow like this, in a way that it doesn't look weird. I'm gonna be going to the side view and adjusting it according to the model sheet. And this is kinda of it. We have the eyelids, the nose, a reference for the eyebrow, because we're gonna be doing it separated in the future. And now I think we can make the mouth. So we're gonna be doing the same thing as we did with the eyes and with the nose. We're gonna be seeing where the mouth is in the model sheet and then do the same thing in the model. So I'm gonna be selecting the crease, transparency, and the mouth is around here. So I'm gonna be increasing the strength and the size of the pencil. And I'm gonna be marking here like if it was a drawing. We can't see it because it's transparent right now, but if you turn it on, we can see what we're doing, which is this. I'm gonna be making the lips here. I mean, just the lines for the lips because it's just gonna be a reference. And this is probably looking extremely weird, but this is gonna be a reference for the lips because, well, this is just how things work. So I'm gonna be making that little detail under the nose. I don't know how to call that in English, but it's this little detail. It's this little detail underneath the nose. So for the mouth, we're gonna be using this option here, inflate. And we're gonna be creating some lips. We're just gonna be literally doing the same thing as we did with the nose. And we're gonna be sculpting the lips until it looks like a lips. So I'm gonna be doing this and then something like this. Creating a bit more of shape so we can sculpt it later. I'm gonna be using the crease to create a bit more of shape here. And I'm starting to think that we need a bit more of polygons once again. So I'm gonna be pressing R and increasing this little number here just a bit. And then I'm gonna be pressing Ctrl R. Now we have more polygons to work on the lips. It is looking completely weird, so I'm gonna be making this more smooth. Like this. And then we're gonna just be sculpting the lips. Creating a nice transition from the head to the lips. I'm pretty sure you can see a lips format here. And to make this a bit more visible, I'm gonna be using crease and just marking it here to make things a lot more sharp around here. I'm gonna be grabbing this little part here underneath the nose, and the upper lips I'm gonna be doing something similar to this, bringing it a bit to the front. The same thing with this little part around the chin, and the same thing with the lower lip. And now we're gonna just basically be sculpting the lips and giving more details, just like we did with the nose. So I think this is starting to look good. His lips is similar to the Afro lips, so he has to have a big lips. Just gonna be making a bit more of detail here, and then I'm gonna be smoothing it like this. And one more thing, the character has to have a neutral expression, so it can't be smiling or sad or whatever. And I want the edges to be a bit more sharp. So for that, I'm gonna be using this little option here, flatten. And I'm gonna be doing this around the edges of the lips. I mean, in the whole lips, to be honest. Like around down here and here. And I'm gonna be using crease to make the details a bit more sharp, like around here and here. And this transition between the lips to the rest of the skin of the face. And I'm starting to think that we're gonna be needing a bit more polygons once again. So I'm gonna be pressing R, increasing the value, and press R. This is gonna make the whole file much more heavier, but we're gonna be doing the red topology later, so it's not gonna matter at all. And then I'm just gonna be making a bit more of details for the lips, just like we were doing the whole time. I'm gonna be creating a little detail here. And I'll be back in a few minutes when I'm done with the lips. So I think I'm finished with the lips, and I'm just creating a bit more of detail in the nose, like around here. I'm gonna be bringing this down and this a bit up. And I'm gonna be making this a bit more smooth, like around here and here. And I think this is it for the nose and for the mouth. Yeah, I think this is it for the mouth. It looks really good. So if something starts to look weird, it's not a big problem because we're gonna be fixing it in the retopology as well. And for now, I think we can try to edit the eyelids just a bit more. Like, I think we have to have a bit more of deep around here and make things a bit more sharp up here. But of course, that is according to my art style. If your art style is different, you're just gonna be doing according to your art style. So this is the transition from the eyelids to the eyebrow, and I think it's looking good. I'm just gonna be making this a bit more smooth, so it doesn't look completely weird. I'm gonna be grabbing this little part here and bringing a bit to the front, like this. Gotta see from the side view too. Make this a bit more smooth. Not too much because it has to have a bit of sharp edges too, so it has to have a balance between smooth and sharp. And for the eyelids, I'm just gonna be pressing G and then grabbing these guys a bit more down like this. And in general, bringing a bit more to the sides like this. And I think this is it for the eyelids. We're not gonna be making the eyelashes for now. And we're not gonna be making the eyebrow too. So now I think we can start making the ears. I'm gonna press Ctrl Tab and go into the object mode. And the ear is gonna be a separated object from the head. So I'm gonna be adding a cube and scale it down, moving it up, scale it down until a size that is gonna be looking good for the ears. Bringing it a bit to the sides like this, and comparing to the model sheet, it has to be around here. And now we're gonna press Tab to go into the edit mode of the cube, and gonna be pressing Ctrl R in the middle. I'm gonna deselect this. I'm gonna deselect this option here and I'm gonna select this little edge in the middle, and I'm gonna be making the shape of the ears based on the model sheet. So it has to be around here. This little guy is gonna be around here. This other is gonna be here. And this is going to be in between, like this. I'm gonna create another loop cut in the middle, and I'm gonna be selecting this little edge and bringing it a bit to the sides like this. And basically, this is looking exactly like a low poly ear. So I'm gonna be unhiding the head and placing it together with the head. And now we have to rotate this until it starts looking like an ear. So I think this is looking good. I'm gonna be doing just a little thing. I'm gonna be pressing Ctrl A, and then I'm gonna be selecting the ear, and then I'm gonna add a mirror modifier to see it in the other side, to see if it's looking good compared to the head or not. So I think it is looking good, but I'm gonna press tab to go into the edit mode, and then I'm just gonna rotate a bit like this, and I'm gonna scale it a bit down and move around until it looks good in the head. So yeah, I think it's looking good. Yep, it is looking good. And now a little life hack. I'm gonna be removing the mirror, and I'm gonna press Ctrl A, and then right click on the mouse, and then I'm gonna be selecting set origin to geometry. And now we're gonna be doing one more thing. We're gonna press Ctrl 2 to add a subdivision modifier, but we're gonna be using the simple one. And then Ctrl A on the modifier. And now we're gonna be doing one more little thing. We're gonna be adding the mirror modifier, setting the mirror object compared to the head like this. And I'm gonna press Ctrl A on the mirror, and then I'm gonna join the ears to the head by selecting the ears and then the head, and then Ctrl J. And now selecting the head, going to the sculpt mode, we're gonna press Ctrl R. And so now the ear is merged with the head, and now we just have to sculpt and make it smooth with an S transition, because this is not looking like a smooth transition, you know? So let's get started. I'm gonna be pressing G, and then I'm gonna be grabbing this part here and moving a bit like this. And then basically we're just gonna be shaping the ear. And this is the basic ear. For now, I'm gonna be getting a reference from Google. So I got this ear as a reference. I'm gonna be saving this as ear reference. And then in Blender, we're gonna be creating another window here. And this little guy here, we're gonna be selecting as image editor. And then we're gonna be bringing the ear reference to Blender like this. And now basically we're gonna be sculpting the ear based on this photo. So we're just gonna be making some holes and some little details until it looks like an ear. So I'm gonna be using crease to make the holes. I'm gonna increase the strength. And basically I'm just gonna be making the ear following the shape of the reference. And now with this option, inflate, we're gonna be creating some details according to the reference. So around here, it has some little details around here. And then we have another detail around here and around here too. And I'm gonna be smoothing it so we have a nice transition like this. I'm gonna be smoothing the insides too, like this. And I'm gonna be pressing J to bring this little guy here a bit more like this according to the reference. And basically, you're just gonna be shaping the ear according to the reference. And it's just that. And this is it. I think this is enough for the ear based on the reference. So I think this is it. We have the whole head. I'm just gonna be making a little detail. I'm gonna go into the object mode, select the eye, and I'm gonna just add a mirror modifier to see if it looks good in the head with both of the eyes. Yeah, it kind of does. So I noticed that the eyes are kind of too big for the head, so I just added a mirror modifier, and I'm gonna try to edit the size of the eyes and adjust it with the head. I'm gonna scale it down a bit, and then I'm gonna try to edit the mesh of the head by sculpting it. We can hide this for now. We have finished sculpting the ear, so this is okay. And I'm gonna basically just try to edit the eyelids based on the eye because it was kind of too big. I'm gonna be going to the object mode again, selecting the eye, then moving to the front just a bit. Edit mode, select everything, move it just a bit like this, and then S to scale it a bit. And I think this is looking good because it was looking kind of too big before. And now we just have to adjust the eyelids. So let's do this. And I think this is it. And for now, I'm just gonna adjust a little details like around here, and now here, and a bit up here of the forehead, up here, like this other part here, and then here. Just gonna be adjusting just a little bit, like this. And I think it is looking good. Let me see from the top view. Yeah, it kind of looks like an egg. This guy is bald. He looks like an egg. Let me adjust this. Let me fix this. And we're gonna just be doing a little detail. It's gonna be the final detail, which is down here. We're gonna be doing this around the jaw. So this part is gonna be joining with the neck in the next video. And for that, it has to be like this, kind of like a hole in my models. And now we're gonna be smoothing it like this, so it doesn't look completely weird. And yeah, I think this is it. We're done for this video. And that is it. This is the final result of the sculpture of our character's head. I hope it was easy to understand and to follow, and I hope that you learned something new from this video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and if you have any doubts, you can comment down here. I'm gonna try to answer you all. And the next video is gonna be sculpting the torso, so make sure to subscribe and activate the notification so you're not gonna miss the next video. This is it. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next video. Bye.